Some breaking news coming out of the continent of Europe, and this time in the Netherlands, as a mass stabbing attack has occurred on Dam Square in Amsterdam this afternoon. Of course, guys, we are going to go through all of the footage. We've got some videos to share with you, and whilst also going through the latest information on what we currently know on this attack. But as always, guys, it is a breaking news story, so more information may come out a little bit later on, so make sure you do correlate the sort of timestamps from when you're watching this. But let's go into this horrific story that's coming out of the Netherlands. So essentially, guys, this is where it's been taking place, Dam Square in the city of Amsterdam. And as you can see here, Sint Nicolaasstraat, sorry for my Dutch pronunciation, but this is the location of the incident. But this incident, or this attack, has seen at least 7 people injured at the time of recording in a suspected stabbing attack, which is absolutely horrific. This attack happened shortly after 2:30 p.m. GMT, with dozens of police cars descending onto the city's iconic Dam Square just minutes later. A spokesman confirmed that the attacker had been arrested, though they did not mention the motive thus far. I think we all currently know what this individual's motive was, but here is the individual, of course, being detained and arrested by police. Images from local TV channel 85 show an air ambulance landing in the square just meters away where police said the stabbing had occurred. We'll go through that video footage a little bit later on, but local media reports say that a large cordon has since been set up in the area itself, and Dutch police are now urging anyone in the area to share images of the incident through a secure link on their force's website. One witness had said that suddenly an icy scream could be heard, sparking panic in Dam Square, though he added that he had bystanders did not know what was going on. A local shop worker also said that she suddenly heard a lot of shouting and screaming, and that people started running in the direction of the incident. Local newspaper De Telegraaf was told by one young woman that happening everywhere now, just look at Germany, in reference to a recent spate of terrorist attacks across Europe. However, as stated, Dutch police at this moment in time have stated that they do not know what the motive was for this individual. So that's what we got so far, guys. Is a breaking news story. We've got some footage to share with you from the scene as well, which we're going to go through momentarily. But whilst we're live, I'm sure more updates are going to follow. It was initially reported as 5 injured. However, it's now gone up to 7 injured as I've just pressed the live button. But let's go through some video footage from the scene. So that's, of course, the air ambulance landing in the area. This is some more scene of emergency vehicles, of course, coming to the scene. So for the man that has, again, the unidentified man thus far in terms of what they're going by, and still don't know what the motive is in terms of the public, the Dutch people, the European people now tuning in to finding what's happened. They don't know what the motive was as of yet, but the individual has been arrested. And as stated, 7 people currently have been stabbed by this individual. Here's a picture of him, of course, getting arrested. Guys, let me know your thoughts in the live chat. We're going to be taking some reaction now in a moment. But again, my thoughts are, every single time we're talking about it, Europe is under attack. It's simple as that. Europe is under attack, and we're seeing it far too often. Again, every single live stream we do over the last month, we've done a couple on Germany. There was one incident, again, another ramming attack in Germany last night. We've done Austria. Now it's the Netherlands. We've done plenty in France. Where's next? Is it going to be the UK next? I mean, as I said, it's like a game of roulette on where this next thing is going to be. You don't control your borders. You don't know who's in your country. You just open yourself up to incidents and attacks like this. It's absolutely outrageous. I know, as I said, my thoughts and prayers currently right now with the 7 people that are currently injured. And that's just the number now. We don't know the full scale of it until a little bit later on today. So again, this may go up. And again, there's been no confirmed deaths as of yet. And I pray to God that that's not going to be the case. But 7 people have been stabbed by a lunatic in Dam Square. We don't know motive just yet. I have to say that to you whilst it's breaking news, but I bet you we probably can have a guess as to what this was. Who's cutting around and stabbing massive amounts of people in broad daylight in Dam Square. Absolutely outrageous, absolutely disgusting, but this is the modern day Europe. This is the modern day Europe. Yesterday, it was Germany. Today, it's the Netherlands. Tomorrow, it could be the UK. As stated, it's like throwing a dart at a dartboard. We're all under threat. But as I always say, it won't be Poland. Why won't it be Poland? Well, because they have their borders currently secure. Guys, I'm going to take some reaction from this in the live chat. Absolutely horrific. And I'm going to keep you up to date with what's going on the ground. I'm currently with a bit of Dutch. I'm trying to translate everything to Dutch from Dutch as well, which modern technology is absolutely fantastic. AI, it just translates things pretty quickly. But it's outrageous. It's absolutely disgusting. And again, when's enough? You know, Europe is definitely fallen. Europe has fallen. A tourist hotspot, Amsterdam, Dam Square, beautiful city, beautiful country, under attack. Absolutely outrageous to see. Let's go through some of the live chat, sorry. Angela says prayers to the Netherlands victims. Pook says 5 injured. Yeah, well, there's more updated reports now stating 7 injured. So, as stated, you can take it what it is. I mean, in terms of the actual figure, it's going to update. I initially read 5, but now I'm starting to see 7. So, again, take of that what you will. You can do your own due diligence. It's a breaking news story. There's going to be different numbers coming from this, there, and the other. I'm going through Dutch media, so I think they're a little more reputable than the sort of daily rags within the UK. But some are saying 5. Of course, some are saying 7. But let's say up to 7. Okay? Let's just say up to 7. So let's just clear that. Okay? So it could be 5, could be 7. But regardless, multiple people, mass amounts of people have been stabbed in Dam Square today. Ryan Skay Model World says, what the F is going on? It's modern day Europe. This is modern day Europe. It's something on a weekly basis that we are hearing about. It's modern day Europe. And soon people are going to get numb to actually watching this kind of content, you know, because it's just happening all too often. So actually tuning in, it's just like, you know, when you used to see maybe a stabbing in your local area or in your local town, you'd be like, oh my goodness me, that's crazy. Just a single stabbing, whether it been gang related, whether it been a falling out, you'd have been, whoa, what the hell? Now people are just numb. I mean, people wouldn't even click on an article that said an individual had been stabbed in their local town. But, you know, now you're starting to see that this is happening on a week-to-week basis. These attacks, these situations in broad daylight where mass amounts of people are getting attacked by an individual, people will start to come numb to this, which is absolutely frightening and disgusting to see. These attacks, people actually getting numb and going, oh, well, this is just modern day Europe. And we're starting to get there slowly, which is absolutely outrageous. Genuinely, absolutely outrageous. Connor Lear says, naught to do with Europe, is just here. I mean, if you're on about the United Kingdom, I mean, Europe is everywhere. It's in the whole of Europe is under some sort of form of attack. There's so much stuff happening. Germany's had the worst part of it recently. But then you're seeing Austria, what they had recently as well. It's all over Europe at this moment in time. And to be fair, the United Kingdom is not really had too much with regard to these sorts of incidents in a long run. I hope and pray that never happens. But as I said, you can see Europe is getting closer and closer. And I pray for the people of the Netherlands, because this is absolutely shocking and absolutely disgusting. Builder saying at least 5, 1 an old lady and 1 a younger girl. So as I said, there's a lot. There's still the problem is with breaking news. There's always still loads of different variations of the full story, because it's impossible to get the complete full variation of the story straight away as soon as the story's broke. So you're always going to have a little bit of missing pieces, and then you have to put it together. That's why when breaking a story, you come a little bit later on and then discuss it with updates when you've got all the pieces together and you can see the full picture. But yeah, there's a lot of different things. But what we can kind of be unanimous on at this moment in time is that mass amounts of people have been stabbed. And of course, the individual has been arrested, and that's kind of all we know so far. But the scenes in Amsterdam is shocking. It's really shocking to see a tourist hotspot. Democracy and voting isn't getting us out of this. Well, Germany had their chance to get out of it. I know I was speaking to a Dutch guy the other night there, actually, and he was very much... They were talking about, I couldn't really actually remember their politics at this moment in time, but I think they've got a fairly right-wing government, maybe? The Netherlands, sorry for my ignorance, I'm sure there might be some Dutch people tuning in, but I don't know, maybe. Or there's certainly a rise to it, I believe, within Netherlands. Sorry for my ignorance there. However, of course, it's bonkers. Just to clarify, before we go on to this comment from Neil, this has not been confirmed as, the terror attack as such. It's still being said that they don't know what the motive was. They have no idea what the motive was, but the individual has been arrested. So we'll probably get a little bit of an update later with regard to it. But, it's going to be something of some sort of ideology. It's not going to be, I'm not naming a religion next to it or anything like that at this moment in time, but it's someone that's obviously got some sort of ideology that wants to go around stabbing massive amounts of people in broad daylight in a tourist hotspot in the Netherlands, in the Western world. Disgusting. But Neil says this is what happens when you let people in with no checks or documentation. Europe car borders are not fit for purpose. Monkey Coffee says, yes, we have a right-wing government. There you go. So sometimes, I don't know actually what the Netherlands are currently doing in terms of their politics at this moment in time. I don't know what the procedure is on their borders policy. I don't know what's going on at this moment in time. And we're still kind of speculating as if it was as a migrant. We don't know that just yet. That's important to say so far. It's important to keep you up to date that there has been no description of the individual. All we've got is the guy being arrested on the floor, but we don't know his background. We don't know where he's from. Heck, he could be a Dutch national, but I highly doubt it. But look, there's the individual there. You can't really see his face as such, but you can see him being arrested. But we'll have to wait and see what actually happens. Digmar says we have a socialist as an MP, a PM. Right, I'm going to have a little look to see if there's any more updates, guys, because I'm starting to see some comments come through. Let's have a little look in Amsterdam. Let's have a little look to see what's going on here. If there's any further updates. As stated, it's breaking news, so we're going to have to wait and see. In fact, there's a TikTok video there. I don't know if I want to click that as such. Several, 5, 7. I'm seeing so many different numbers here, by the way, but it may be looking closer to 5. So just an update there, by the way. Let's see if there's any more from here. I think the Telegraph know what's going on in terms of the Dutch media, but let's have a little look on what's going on with them. It's also good to keep up to date with X. People on the ground are actually seeing the things, because you can start to see pictures of these individuals start to emerge. Let's have a little look. Now we'll get back into the chat, guys, but thank you so much for tuning in. I'm trying to get you more information as we're currently live. Let's go through it. Amsterdam. it's shocking. It's absolutely. It really pisses me off. We know the attacker has been arrested, but we don't know where he's from yet. We have no idea in terms of the police haven't released any details. So they're probably like us. In fact, I got a question to the Dutch. What are your police like with regard to withholding information? Do they bring it? Do they publish information pretty quickly? Or do they try and hold on to it to protect certain minorities for a long period of time? Because again, there's a lot of British viewers that will be tuning into this, and we know how our country operates, and they're very, 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 they try and bury down on what a potential motive would be. They'll say, oh, it's an isolated incident, it's nothing to do with this, it's nothing to do with that, and then weeks later you find out exactly what it is. However, just with a bit of experience of reporting on different stories over the last few months, Germany were very quick, Austria were very quick to say who the individual was, but they haven't released any identity. They've released no name so far yet, despite the arrest having already been made. And I'm trying to search the web now for a picture of the individual. That's the best we've got for those of you just tuning in. The best we've got is of him being arrested on the ground, but we don't actually have any pictures of him in terms of his face and getting a picture. But I'm scouring now to see if there's any. The great thing about X is the mainstream media can choose not to publish something, but with a bit of due diligence, you get people on the ground that are there. They don't have to submit the photos to newspapers anymore. They just upload it straight to X and you get the picture of it, because that wasn't on mainstream media sites. That came from someone on the ground. Let's have a little look at some more pictures here. Trying to see if we can get a picture of the individual. Nah, nothing yet. It's still very, very quiet. Still very, very quiet. But we will stay live just for the moment because it is quite hot. Let's take some more reaction from you guys in the live chat. Absolutely. Whilst we are sort of talking about this at this moment in time, this live chat is this chat again. This is what we have to do right now. Thoughts are with the victims, but how long does it have to be a case of thoughts and prayers with victims? Yes, it's important to have compassion and sympathy for individuals being involved, but how do you actually get to the point where these incidents don't take place? Actually, I'm not going to use incidents. Attacks don't take place within Europe. We need real solutions to stop this from even happening in the first place. None of this thoughts and prayers on a day-to-day basis. And whilst the attack has happened now, it's important to have sympathy and compassion, but when's enough? When are you going to draw a line in the sand? When are governments, when are Europe going to wake up? The motive is obvious, of course. The cause doesn't matter. No, exactly. The guy came out literally trying to cause terror. Whether they're going to dub it as terrorism as such, it's such a grey area on what's terrorism these days anyway. But the whole meaning of it, causing terror, what's that individual doing? Regardless of his background, his religious beliefs, or where he's from, he's causing terror on the streets of the Netherlands. Because it ain't gang related in Dam Square in broad daylight. Yeah, I mean, there might be a lot of Dutch people tuning in, or other people from Europe, or other people from across the world right now. So again, we have something in the UK, and this is not about the UK. I want to make it about the Netherlands. But we have things in the UK now where they've changed the term of terrorism to advocate for lone wolves. So now these lone wolf people cutting around, they could have a certain ideology, like you may know Axel Rudibugana. He had a jihadi manual. He had ricin. He was found with ricin in his home. But under our new sort of laws that we had within our country, he's no longer deemed as a terrorist. Despite all of that evidence, we've got new laws to protect these individuals, and now that they're loners, they're tried under something completely different. So again, I don't know how the Netherlands acts in terms of it, but hopefully they say it for what it is. Ben says, would countries perhaps close the borders if a politician was attacked in the same way? Not condoning it, but was it more of a thought we have far too much tolerance, all of the crime and terror? It goes back to the same situation, and again, I feel like I'm kind of speculating because we've not been given the information just yet on who this individual is, right? But on the off chance that it's a Dutch national, he could be whatever, he could have certain ideologies or something like that. But, I think we're all, you kind of know where this is going, don't you? You kind of know where it's going without actually saying anything. And just to say, it's important to say, whilst we are alive here, is that it has not been confirmed. The police don't know what the motive is. But with regard to your point there, it's the woke ideologies in terms of the governments within Europe. I think somebody said it, whether you like him or not. Andrew Tate actually said that all of the leaders within Europe are female. And they may be men biologically, but they're all female. They power and govern in a feminine way. And again, this could be a problem. You're looking across the pond right now with Donald Trump. He's taking action and taking things in a right way. He's not acting emotionally. He's not trying to advocate and look after every single person that there is in the world. He is doing what's right for America and not acting emotionally. And these is what the European leaders do. They act emotionally. And they're trying to do things by the book and politically correctness and wokeness. But it just leads to catastrophes like this, which is a huge, huge problem. Hugh Haas says there was a stabbing just now outside Woolwich Tube Station, London, about 10 minutes down the road from where a teen was stabbed to death on a bus last month. I mean, this is just every single day, isn't it? Well, I mean, in the UK, from London, London as a city itself, away from that, London is the worst of them all. London's a cesspit. London has crime all of the time. And to be fair, I'm surprised we don't have more of those attacks. But let's keep it with Amsterdam right now, guys. I'm going to try and see if there's any more further updates with regard to Amsterdam. But for those of you just tuning in, I think it's important for you to know that 5 people have been stabbed by a man or an individual, of course, in Dam Square in the city centre. And the individual has been arrested. Police have stated that they don't know what the motive of the motive was for the individual in terms of carrying out the attacks. So we're waiting to find out who he is, what his name is, where he's from, and if he has a certain ideology that he used to carry out this attack. But keeping on the old thing, if there's a lot of people that may have tuned in that's never watched that. I think it was the UAE foreign minister back in 2017. I think I say it every single time there's something like this that happens within Europe. He warned this. An Islamic man from the UAE said that there's going to come a time where there's going to be a lot of attacks coming out of Europe. And that's because of European leaders trying to be politically correct and think that they know these individuals more than we do. And it's actually will give you goosebumps. And actually, where are we now? Nearly, 8 years since that speech? Him saying it in English. Every word that he said is completely true. So I do suggest if you've never ever watched that, I'm sure you all have, but you should watch it. It's about a 2-minute clip, but it would probably tell you a lot. Digmar says, I bet the 5 people stabbed had no weapons to defend themselves. Well, I mean, I think that's very common within Europe. I don't think anybody is cutting around with weapons within mainland Europe, to be fair. Again, people could make a point that when is the time to do so? When would that be the moment to do so? Is that time coming? But yeah, a lot of Dutch people tuning in. Good to see. I'm interested to know, as I said, with regard to the Dutch government, if they, with the way that the Dutch operate, I'm wondering if you guys, announce these things quick. Do you try and protect and shield certain demographics as a country? Do the authorities try and shield and protect certain demographics when these heinous attacks are carried out? So do let me know. It'll probably give us a better idea on whether we're going to be finding out the information on this individual over the next few minutes or so. My other thoughts is how do you feel about the Dutch government, the people in power within the Netherlands at this moment in time? I've seen someone say that you guys have a right-wing government. But how are you finding it in terms of the way that you guys are living, the way with mass migration and all of these kind of things? How is it within the Netherlands? I would be really intrigued to understand as to how you find it. Outrageous. Let's see if there's any further updates. Check the Dutch media and see what's going on. There's no more right now. In terms of people on the ground, is there any more stuff from Dutch police though? That's the other thing that I don't want to see. Unidentified. Yes, it's a real shame that we can't see this guy's individual's picture. So far, just on the floor, and people are making out white traces. We may have a photo, ladies and gentlemen. We may have a photo. However, I'm going to check it out first, troops, because I don't want to be sharing any false information. So I think we've got one here, by the way. Right, okay. I've got an updated photo of the individual. Right, okay. I'll just send it over for you. We've got one here, which is going to come over in a second. And then I think we've got a clearer photo as well of the individual. So let's have a little look. And there's a video of the guy getting arrested as well, actually. Someone's laughing there. And I think that one is as well. I'm just going to do just two more checks quickly, guys, because I don't want to be sharing any false stuff on social media. Because it's interesting, because a lot of the things are not necessarily marrying up with the photo that I'm seeing on the police. And then I'm seeing different photos. So if it makes sense, basically I'm seeing the photo that we just shared, but I'm starting to see some new photos from people on X, and there's now multiple people posting and reposting this. But they don't look like they're in the same place, and the guy is certainly not wearing the same clothes. So I don't really know. We're starting to see one guy, I think, with a black jacket, and then one guy with white shoes. So unless there's multiple people, then I don't know. But we're starting, yeah, there is pictures starting to emerge on X. But again, I've got to be careful with not sharing fake news or anything like that. So I'm just waiting to see if there's any. This has been vetted, if you get what I mean, which is also important. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people are posting the same stuff, but this guy doesn't have white shoes. That's the thing. I don't know. I'm gonna wait a little bit. I'm gonna wait. I'm not gonna share it just yet. I'll wait to see if the Dutch media post it. Right now, I'll wait for a moment. I don't want to share wrong photos of random people. I don't think that's fair, and it's not fair for you guys either. So we'll wait. Let's have a little look. Amsterdam, Stabbings, Germany, Netherlands. Fuck. Let's have a look. Any more photos? Nothing just yet. No more further updates. But we potentially have a photo, or a clearer photo of this individual, but it needs to be vetted. Not just gonna bring it up and share it for the sake of sharing it, because it could just be some random bloke that just got lifted a few weeks back. Let's have a look. Nah, nothing. Let's go back into the live chat a sec while we let that load up and see if there is any more. Lydia says Dutch media is not going to report it. Why is that though? Why is Dutch media not going to report that incident? Someone's saying that. Let me just check that quickly to see if that's been updated as well. I've only heard that one person's been arrested, but if you're saying that there's a point that there's two, then we'll see what happens. As I said, it's a break. The problem is with breaking news stories, you're going to get updates as the day goes on or as the hour goes on. So what you initially report is it could evolve. You know, that's why it's important to have a little look. But still, I'm still seeing one man arrested. I haven't seen any update on a second man arrested. But let's see if any more Dutch media is saying anything. DW. Here we go. I just want the latest police reports to see if there was two or if it's just one. But I do think it's one. As stated, the police still saying a suspect has been arrested, but motive remains unclear. So still one as we're standing here right now. Okay, wait, hold up. Here we go. Alleged. Okay, so the Mail have posted that photo, by the way. So the Mail have posted a photo. I mean, the Mail, the Mirror, they've posted a photo of the alleged Amsterdam attacker. And let's put it this way, he has, he's wearing like a black tracksuit in this picture. Whether it is him or not, let's have a look. They're saying it the alleged attacker, so they're protecting themselves with that. So they've not said that this is the guy. Dutch police have also released a statement in relation to this afternoon's incident as they confirmed a suspect has been arrested. So still one. 5 people have been injured. They said 1 suspect has been arrested. A motive is still currently unclear, but part of our investigation. We'd like to urge the people to share the footage of the incident with us. So the Dutch police are encouraging people to share it. Oh, the picture of this guy. He kind of looks... he looks... hard to say. I don't think... He doesn't look Dutch. Let's put it that way. If it's this guy, I'm still not going to share it just yet because I need to be 100% sure for that. Oh, it's starting to emerge, to be fair. A lot of people posting it now. He looks like... I wouldn't really be able to tell. Yeah, he's not Dutch. Let's put it that way. He's not Dutch. Let's put it that way. Good God, it's on BBC News. The BBC News has decided to report on this one, have they? Jesus. Fair play to them. No, didn't think that was ever going to happen. Yeah, so that's the problem though. So the initial photo that was going around that we shared, by the way, it doesn't marry up with the photo of the updated photos. So let's just put that out there quickly as well, because that was getting shared. The photo that I shared with you here, this one here, this was getting shared by mainstream media outlets. So, and it doesn't look like, it looks like the summer day, doesn't it? I mean, I don't know. I'm not in Amsterdam right now. What we're coming into April. I'm not too sure how hot it is on the ground right now. But that one may not be legit. So, again, we'll have to wait. But this one's starting to emerge here. So, we'll see. Now, this is the problem with breaking news stories. Is you get images, but they turn out not to be necessarily thing-made. Before photo. Yeah. But yeah. No, that's it really, guys. In terms of the update, I'll probably going to do a follow-up video a little bit later on. Let's take a break, potentially come back a little bit later on. I've been rolling for a little while now. But guys, do let me know your thoughts on this one in the comment section below. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll be back for an update momentarily.